Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We respectable listeners them. We want for heartily welcome to another short Save Your Marriage reminder by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The message of this reminder, they go to we beloved sisters. Subhanallah, my beloved sisters, in marital homes, among the wisdom way you could save your marriage from damage, now for ensure that you look after, you cook and you looks as well by the will of Allah, because you looks and you cook gets the potential for hook your marriage in a way that inshallah by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala it will continue for blossom by the will of Allah. I repeat again, you looks and you cook gets beautiful role for play in saving your marriage by the will of Allah. So we need to ensure that we improve on them. Improve on your looks by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your looks are beautiful hook for your husband. Subhanallah. So ensure that you shine up, you brush up, you clean up. Subhanallah. You fix up by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ensure that if makeup is needed for your husband, then make up by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order for lift up your marriage by the mercy of Allah. Sometimes now we look same the way how you look, my beloved sister, now in the upset your husband and they make the husband they go away from you. Subhanallah. If you are at home together with your husband, my beloved sister, that long hijab, take them off now. Now you and your husband they together by the will of Allah, that niqab, take them off now. Subhanallah, ensure that you fix your looks in a way that your looks could be lookable by the will of Allah. You know there are way how they fix up. Even if the husband no one for look, he go look. Because your looks go be a hook. Subhanallah. Your looks go be a hook for him. We go hook him, subhanallah, in a way that inshallah he go come and hook you in a hookable way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you and grant you guidance. So beloved sister, improve in your looks. You know, there are sisters then, subhanallah, we so relax in regards to the looks. When it comes to their husband, they're so relaxed. You ask them, sister, why you did this way? And I say, afterwards I don't marry. Wait for yagba for again. Wait for worry for. Subhanallah, my beloved sister, getting married is one. But staying in marriage is another thing. Keeping your marriage growing, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, is something very much important. So look after your looks by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Uplift your looks, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Get them fine skirt, them fine mini skirt. Wearing mini skirt is not haram. Now who say wear them and who they wear them for? Now you make a haram. So yourself as a sister in hijab by the will of Allah in niqab, get them fine mini skirt them by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you put on this skirt, inshallah, the power go look into that direction by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they together at home, put on your mini skirt, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Subhanallah, put on the cloth that we go invite them, call them invitation cloth by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A cloth of invitation by the mercy of Allah. Get beautiful nighties them, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Get beautiful underwears on these in a beautiful way, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Ensure, perfuming for go out for a woman is not acceptable inside Islam. But if you do inside home with your husband, you can wash with the perfume. No problem by the will of Allah. Makeup for your husband, bi'iznillah. All of this is acceptable by the mercy of Allah. So look after your looks. Now hook with the hook your marriage in a beautiful way by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a stronger way, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. So look after your looks and then look after your cook. Improve in your cook. Subhanallah, if you don't know how to put together some recipes, ask those who know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask your mama for help you out by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You teach them. We don't cook for quite a long time. If there is a particular sauce we want for prepare, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, and you cannot ask for help, ask you and teach them by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let them help you out for prepare this dish in a dishable way by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look after you cook as well. Bi'iznillahi ta'ala, cook in a proper way, cook in a beautiful way, cook in a way that your man, your husband, they look forward for eating food by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are times the way I prepare the food for your husband, it makes, subhanallah, it become much more easy for subhanallah, for feed on, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, by the mercy of Allah. So improve on them. There are some men we know they can't eat now us, and they eat along the way when they come, subhanallah, because they no guarantee the cook, subhanallah, the cook no kind of calling, no kind of beautiful. So ensure that you improve in your cook as well by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Improve in the cassava leaf, we don't cook for a while. Improve in the potato leaf by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and ensuring that you cook the favorite dish for your husband by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, preparing the dish, and also you the cook also prepare by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So need for ensure, bi'iznillah, my beloved sisters, ensure that you improve in your looks and improve in your cook, because then two things they are now hook. We go hook the marriage so strongly that inshallah shaitan go find it difficult for uproot them by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some men as husband, then are still strong customer in a cookery buffer, a different cookery buffers than subhanallah, because they even believe up to this day, they believe the cook na the cookery buffer more than the wife. They believe the cook na the restaurants more than the wife where he married. Enough for be so. My beloved sister, try for improve by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Discuss with your husband what he look for it, what in preference, and prepare in preference by the will of Allah, and also yourself prepare yourself by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a beautiful way. Bi'iznillahi ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you guidance. So the message is, my beloved sister, look after your looks and also try for improve in you cook by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cooking skills, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, it can be inshallah a means of enticing the husband by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Almighty Allah bless you all. May Allah grant you guidance. This is just a reminder, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, with the help we for save with marriage system. Till we meet again inshallah for another reminder, I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.